Hey guys! Today we are testing out the Ray Gun Mark II's ability to defeat the Manglers and Abominations on Liberty Falls, Patient 13, and the Guardian. The Ray Gun Mark II is so meta against the Z-Rex, we already know that, so surely it must be good against the other bosses, right? Well, let's jump right in and see if we can defeat Patient 13, or just get tentacled to death like Dr. Modi here. Alright, so it's phase 1 of Patient 13. So we need to try to pop his pimples with the Ray Gun Mark II. And we need to dodge his tentacle slam attacks. What is with COD and their fascination with tentacle monsters? Like, even Modern Warfare Zombies had a tentacle monster. It was the Mimic. Unfortunately, I ran out of ammo. I didn't think it would run out this fast. Well, so I decided to suck it up and buy ammo, which is 10k because, you know, it's a wonder weapon and all. So now I have 8k left. Maybe I should have brought in a spare 50,000 points at this rate. Alright, we're going to shoot him in the mouth to do some damage. And then we're going to try to get around his face and get that pimple. Stop wiggling. Alright, so 2 full ammo restocks. And I'm still not done with phase 1 yet. This is going so good. Alright, we're going to use Mustang and Sally. Try to finish off phase 1. It's not looking so good. Well, I just bought more ammo. Cue the sad music for my points. 135 left. So since phase 2 started, you get a max ammo. And I almost have 10k from killing all those zombies. So I'm going to use the Gobblegum Idolize so I can focus on using all of my Mark II ammo on the boss and seeing how much damage I can really do and not waste any ammo on the zombies attacking me. Alright, so we're gonna shoot him in the mouth. Watch out though for his tentacle attacks because they will deplete half your health, and watch out for his mouth, because a slimy, long, tentacle-esque tongue can come out and eat you. So I'm laying into his mouth and praying I can break him down to 1/3 health before my idle eyes expires. Well, that's definitely not gonna happen. So shoot him in the mouth. So we're down to 57 rounds. And making so far no progress on his health bar. So now we're in the phase where you need to shoot his yellow spots on the tentacle to do maximum damage. Well, the little ammo I did use of the Mark II did pretty good damage. I am getting very worried about my point situation now. I'll have to kill a ton of zombies to get back up to 10k. Alright, shoot his tentacle, stop moving. Alright, broken. That was pretty fast. The Mark II does pretty well against zombie crowd control, but I feel like I should always switch to Mustang and Sally's before we get swarmed. Okay, thankfully we just broke his other tentacle, but look at that health bar. It's barely even budged from the halfway point. And now I have 0 ammo and 5k points. So the only thing I could do is use my chopper gunner to get phase 2 over with, and then try to get zombie kills to get more points. Oh, but did you guys hear they nerfed the damage for chopper gunners and zombies? So I'm like, alright, I'm just gonna focus real quick on him, and then I realize it's really not doing much damage to the boss. And it doesn't do a whole lot of damage either to the Z-Rex anymore. So it's pretty good against the Manglers and the Amalgams. So I need to take these guys out so I can focus on the boss. I used the timeout Gobblegum here because it worked really well in the Tomb boss fight. So here it did absolutely nothing. Why is there no consistency with this Gobblegum? Like, it doesn't make any sense. How come it didn't instantly kill all the zombies and specials? It literally did nothing. So his electric tentacle slam will down you completely. So you must stand perfectly dead center behind these 2 crates or you will go down. And you see, I forgot about this little tidbit of information and I died. So I learned my lesson the hard way. In my honest opinion, I think maybe it's possible to defeat Patient 13 if you come in with like a spare 100,000 points to buy ammo constantly. But I don't know, I would save yourself the frustration and pass up on this wonder weapon for Patient 13. Let's move along to the Guardian. So we're going to try to use the Ray Gun Mark II against the Guardian. So phase 1 is always the drawn out phase because it takes a lot of ammo and shots before any armor breaks on him. So we just need to lay into him a good bit and get that armor broken. Then let's see if it does a great deal of damage. Now that we have some armor broken, I'm going to shoot those glowing yellow critical spots and watch that health bar and see if it's any good. And so far it's not super great. I definitely think Teammate's AR is doing more damage than the Mark II. I feel like even the regular ray gun melts the Guardian. I don't know, it's definitely not horrible. I think it's definitely possible to do this with the Mark II. Just like the Patient 13 boss fight, you're just gonna go through so much ammo. You definitely need to come in prepared with like a max ammo gobble gum or have a lot of points saved up. Alright, so phase 2 is beginning. He's going to be a bit more feisty, but again, we need to break those armor plates to do any damage to him. So we finally got an ankle plate broken, and now we're just going to lay into his leg. I honestly feel like the Mark II is doing not much compared to the AR. So now that phase 2 is complete, I worry about how this would go solo because you go through ammo so quickly, and so you need thousands of points. But I am determined to successfully defeat these bosses with the Mark II in the future, even if it's a tedious and arduous process, which so far it already is. Like, just getting lucky and winning the lottery and getting the Mark II out of the box is a long journey in itself. We're going to try to break his chest plate and lay into that glowing yellow spot in his chest. Alright, so I'm shooting the critical spot in his chest, and it's doing a fraction of the damage compared to the AR. So honestly, I don't think the Mark II is meta against the Guardian either. I think if you're going to use a wonder weapon, you should just use the regular ray gun. I have a video on my page where I defeat this boss with the regular ray gun, and it was pretty OP. So check that one out if you want to see how I defeated him. At the end of the day, he was defeated. So let's move on to the next boss fight. Alright, we are in on the Liberty Falls boss fight. It is wave 42 because I did not get the Mark II until wave 29, Sag. So phase 1 is very easy. It just consists of a lot of zombies and 3 regular manglers. The Mark II is really good against the manglers. All you gotta do is land several headshots, and just like that, instantly dead. So phase 1 is over now. We get a max armor power up, but no max ammo. So we need to spend 10k points for wonder weapon ammo to defeat the next wave. On phase 2, you're going to get a really strong HVT mangler, just like the one you get doing the steps of the Easter egg. So to defeat him quickly, we need to lay into his helmet and break it in order to do critical damage to his head. You can also shoot off his cannon if you prefer to do that instead. That way he can't hit you with his gravity-defying heat-seeking missiles that, you know, curve around everything, hit you through walls, all that good stuff. So I'm just gonna run in circles until I can get a clear shot of his head, and then once I do, I'm just gonna lay it into his helmet and get it to break. And as you can see, once I get that headshot on him, he is just getting destroyed by the Mark II. So yeah, every chance you get, just turn around, shoot him in the face, and just like that, he's also dead. And at the end of phase 2, luckily we get a max ammo. Phase 3 gets a bit more hectic. You're just constantly swarmed with super sprinters, and now we have a mangler to deal with. Luckily, with the insta-kill, he just died instantly, and now an abomination has spawned in with a mangler. Luckily, the insta-kill is still up, and that mangler just gets smoked. So the abomination doesn't see me, so he keeps walking away from me, so it's hard for me to get those face shots. But once you do get in front of him or get his laser attack to spawn and you shoot him in the mouth, it takes off at least a third health or more against him. So here he's gonna laser, I'm gonna shoot him in his mouth, and look at that. Almost completely dead. Now he's gonna do his growl attack, shoot him in his mouth, and there you go. Completely done. I do think the Mark II is a good meta weapon for the Liberty Falls Easter egg boss fight, but I also suggest a strong secondary like Sally and Forth for crowd control. So like and subscribe if you found this video helpful. I'm going to work on defeating all of these bosses solo with the Mark II. So stick around to see that journey unfold. See you in the next one. Bye.